is an award-winning actor and stand-up comedian known for his work on the hit ABC franchise Blackish and Grownish, and the hit films like Barbershop, The Next Cut, and The Harder They Fall. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Deon Cole, Mr. Old Spice. That's what I'm going. Mr. Old Spice. What's up, my brother? What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
What's up, Steve? How you doing?
Listen, man, I'm good, man. I can't complain at all. But listen, before I get into everything with you talking to you about this new show on BT Plus, before I get into all of that, I gotta tell you, man, I was reading your bio about how you first started doing stand up. It was like a bet for $50 or whatever. Check this out, man. Check this out, Deon. Somebody rolled up on me a few days ago and bet me. They were like, you need to go on stage and do stand-up. I said, hell no. I ain't doing this shit. I ain't doing that shit, Deon. Deon, I ain't brave as you, brother. I ain't doing that shit. Hell no. I'm not doing it, Deon. I'm not doing it, man. Am I right? Am I making the right decision, man? I ain't doing it, Deon.
I'm going to say this. You might be leaving some money on the table.
Really? Little money, little cash, little cash.
You kind of hilarious, Steve.
Listen, man. First of all, first things first. How you doing, man? How's everything going, bro?
Man, I am so honored and blessed right now, man. It's a real good time, man. And I'm just excited, man, with everything that's going on, man. And, just working, staying out of everybody's way, and just trying to create and make people happy. That's in the hospital and in jail.
Well, listen, man, I saw a little bit of The Average Joe. I got to watch more of it. I saw a little bit of it, man. And damn it, you ain't trying to make people laugh in that one. I mean, that's a little different thing, Deon. That's a little different. Talk to us about that show. First of all, let the audience know what it's about and how it came to be. How did you get this project?
Yeah, so Average Joe is about this guy. It's a dark comedic comedy. It's not a comedy. It's a drama. It's a hybrid of all of it, basically. And it's about this guy whose father passes away. And this mobster team, this mobster group said that he took some money from him, and they thought that Joe, who I play, know where it is. And I'm like, huh? And after that, chaos ensues, man. And it's just like a roller coaster ride of just a thriller, a twist and turns of who did what, and murder and killing. And it's crazy, go off the rails, man. But people been loving it, man, and shout out to everybody that's been spreading the word, man, because that's how these things happen, word of mouth, man, from people going to tell other people about it. And it's been bubbling, man. And so I want to thank everybody. This project came about. I wrote this movie. I wrote a movie, right? And nobody wanted to do the movie. And the reason why is because it had drama in it. And they kept going, "Oh, you a comedian. No one's going to really be buying that." And I'm like, nah, like people, right. I could do drama and comedy. And they was just like, well. And I talked to some heavy hitting producers, some $100 million directors, and right. They wouldn't do it. So when the script came along, I read it and I was like, "Yo, this is exactly what I was writing in my script." And so I kept looking at it, and I was like, "Man, this got everything in it, like drama, comedy, vulnerability, gangster stuff. There's everything in it." And I was like, "Man, this is gonna be it." And so I was like, "I'm gonna take a chance on this," and we did it. And it's really bubbling.
Well, first of all, you in a good spot because you're talking about people spreading the word. Well, damn it, I got one of the loudest voices. I'm spreading the word. So I mean, you good. So you good. I mean, you good. You good already. I mean, you good. My loud ass self. Damn it, The Average Joe. You heard y'all. BT Plus. Yeah. Get with the program, okay? But what made you decide to do something like that when you're known for being comedic? You're known for making people laugh. I mean, listen, I saw you on Jay-Z's Netflix, show with Idris Elba when you got your ass kicked, and even that was funny. I mean, I'm looking at that, and I'm like, you make people laugh all the time. What was it that made you want to delve into drama? Did you sense at all that there was limitations in the comedic world for yourself, or was there some other motivation?
No, it's not even that. I've always thought about, acting and always wanted to, to act. I definitely want to do that or whatever. But I feel like this, man, when you're acting, you shouldn't be pigeonholed and everything. If you're gonna try to be an actor, be an actor. Like that means acting in different scenarios and taking different projects.
Right.
Like I always tell people, if I was a barber, if I cut hair, I wouldn't just cut black hair.
Right.
Like that makes sense to me. I would learn how to do all hair because I'll be leaving some money on the table. Like if I be a barber, let me be a barber.
Yeah.
A barber.
The only thing that's risky about that proposition, I mean, black folks ain't gonna trust no dude cutting white hair, and and folks cutting white hair the brothers ain't gonna trust that. It make us nervous. I'm just saying, it make us nervous.
See, this is where you're wrong at. You can't. That's the thing. You can't tell me that I can't do that. I should be able to cut all hair. I should learn how to do it. If I got clippers in my hand, I should also learn how to cut.
I agree.
Yeah, I should cut everybody's hair.
I'm just saying it'll make you nervous. I'm just saying, if you saw some dude, going through Pat Riley's hair, and then you looked at your afro in the mirror, you're going to be like this, I don't know if I want this dude cutting my hair. I mean,
what I do know is you just take a comb and you just do their hair like this.
That's right. That's right.
Like this with theirs, right?
Something like that. I don't know how the hell it's going to work, right? Exactly. But I got to ask you this, because one of the things I remember seeing you on Blackish, and as funny as you were, there were real life scenes where you could see that kind of persona that you're talking about bringing out of yourself. I saw some of that revealed, like when you departed and you was talking about losing your job and Dre had to go in a different direction. You're like, it's cool, bro. It's going to be all right. I saw this coming, et cetera, et cetera. You were speaking about real life issues, and I thought about Anthony Anderson, who I've known for years, and I thought about originally when I thought Blackish wasn't going to succeed just because of the title, thinking that would America be receptive to Blackish, and then the show was obviously sensational and everybody did such a phenomenal job, but there was so many real life issues y'all tackled. How much did that assist you in being able to do a project like this, The Average Joe?
Tremendously. You got to understand, man, I worked around greatness for 8 years. I worked around Tracy Ellis Ross, Anthony Anderson, Jeff Meacham. I worked around Marseille Martin and Miles and Marcus and Yara and Lawrence Fishburne and Jennifer Lawrence, and I mean everybody, to Peter McKenzie. I worked around greatness for 8 years, and I looked at how they tackled each episode and how they put everything in it, from studying scripts to Lawrence Fishburne meditation. I don't meditate, but I used to see how serious he was when he did it, and I used to be like, yo, like this is real. Like this ain't just no comedy routine. This is real life. Like they really acting. And so being around that and that work ethic, I just took that upon myself and applied it to everything else I did. Everywhere I go, I'm a sponge, and that's what makes a great comedian. You can't go in a room, everybody expect for you to be funny all the time. I let everybody down. Anytime somebody meet me, I let them down because they think I'm gonna be hitting them in the face with a pie, slipping on the banana peel or whatever, and I'm not like that. I'd rather sit in the back of the cut. I'm more of an observational comic. I sit in the back and I learn and I listen and I listen and I listen, and then I take those situations and apply it to myself and apply it to what I have to say as well in order to know what I'm talking about.
So to go from that and to have that kind of mentality, to being the number one dude on the call sheet, to being the lead in the drama series, what do you sit back now and look at yourself as now? And I'm not talking about your profession. I'm talking about just looking at you where you are in your life right now, knowing what your aspirations once were, knowing what you aspire to be, and then sitting here right now in this seat, in the position that you're in, where you're making noise, everybody's noticing what you're doing, and the diversity of your talents. You could be comedic, you could be serious, you could be a lot of different things. To show that range, how are you feeling about yourself right now at this point in time in your career?
Right now, I feel like I told your ass. That's how I feel like. I ain't gonna even lie. I ain't even trying to be arrogant, but when I wrote that movie and people didn't get it, I was just like, yo, why don't y'all get this? Like, it could be done. Like, I just really didn't get it. And so now I'm like, I told you that it could be done. And it's like, didn't nobody listen to me? I was like, it could be done. I can do it. I knew I can do it. And so therefore, and another thing too, it's not even just about how about your talents. One thing I learned, and I got this from Tom Hanks, man. He said, He's not that. He said he wasn't that great. He said that it was the people around him that was so great, it made him look like he was great. And I was like, wow, that's great. But a lot of people don't want to do that because they don't want to be outshined. Me personally, on my show, Average Joe, everybody on there is amazing. They're phenomenal. I'm probably like the least. I'm probably the least out of everybody, but everybody's so phenomenal that it just gels together. So when you put all that together, man, you'll have a great recipe for something. And that's what I think we did.
There are people outside of Hollywood and outside of show business who hear something like that and they'll say, wow, that's great to hear, because at least at one point in time or another, they found that hard to believe that people are receptive to embracing the greatness of others, to letting others shine as well as themselves, because Hollywood at times appears to be like crabs in a basket. If you get an opportunity, that means there's a boatload of people that ain't getting those opportunities. So in order for me to get ahead, I got to stop you, et cetera, et cetera. Is that an accurate depiction of show business, Hollywood, and beyond? Or is it false? And it's something that a lot of folks need to be informed about as it pertains to that potential falsehood.
So it is like that in Hollywood. I ain't gonna even front.
Okay.
But it's got better. It's gotten a lot better. It used to be where it was only one person at the time that got all the scripts. It was this one person that got everything. If he didn't want it, and that's how everybody else ate. That's how it always goes, and it's still kind of like that to this day. I remember when Will Smith was the #1 everything. He had Wild Wild West, the #1 movie, Wild Wild West, the #1 soundtrack. He had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was #1 across the board, and he did an interview, and they asked him what else do you trying to accomplish? And he said, I am not going to be happy until they come to me with scripts before Tom Cruise. And that always stuck with me. I was just like, wow, like it's always a grind, no matter what level you on. There's something for you to achieve and something for you to conquer, whatever, you know? And so I just feel as though that, like, that's how it is. You have to be in the right mind form in order to, like, focus and get to that position where you want to conquer these things. You know what I mean?
And what gets people to that right mindset, that right form? I mean, obviously you've been able to achieve it. You talked about watching Lawrence Fishburne meditate. You talked about watching folks on Blackish study their script or whatever. What's the ingredient to the level of success that people aspire to have? If you're going to pull it off, I'm talking about mental stability right now from the standpoint of being able to maneuver or push through that inevitable grind that's coming to try to curtail you.
Right. It's practice, but I'm going to tell you something a lot of people fail to realize is that you got to be around great people. You got to be around great people. You can't be great being around people that aren't as great as you are or doesn't have the type of hunger that you have. You got to be around these people in order for them to push you. Like if you go into the same neighborhood and you doing the same thing constantly or whatever, that's all you got to look forward to. You ain't growing. But if you go to like somebody's house that's huge and you look and you see that they have this, or your mind is set like, man, I want this, or man, I need this, and then your mind's gonna change, and then when your mind change, your environment change, and everything else change along with it, or whatever. So you got to be around people that's gonna spark you. You can't be around the same people waiting on that to spark you. You got to come back and get them. You got to go do what you got to go do and be inspired yourself in order to conquer that, you know?
Right. I feel you. And so now we sit here and you've got Average Joe. From a comedic perspective, aren't you going on tour this summer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm going on tour.
I need to know the cities because I might show up. You
gotta come, and I need a high five from you. So I need you to write a good 5 minutes.
Stop it, man.
If you show up, I'm giving you the microphone.
That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. Now you scared the living hell out of me, man. Come on, man. Listen, I'm not scared to go on stage. I'm scared to go on stage with the obligation to be funny. Yo, Deon,
you just gotta go up there and talk. That's
really?
It.
Really?
Look, let me tell you something. I wrote for a lot of great comedians, right? I mean, a lot of great people, from Conan to Cat Williams to Nick Cannon. I wrote for a lot of great people. And you know what I did? It wasn't even writing the jokes. It was the fact that I was around them and I paid attention to what they said and reminded them what they said. I ain't even really have to really write. I just had to remind them what they said, and then they went and took off and did.
Man, you set me up to get booed.
You're one of them people, man.
You set me up to get booed. You set me up to get booed, man. Deon, man, listen. Here's the deal, Deon, man. Listen, I hosted Jimmy Kimmel one time. They asked me to host Jimmy Kimmel. I was scared as hell, but I actually did. I did all right. I finished number 2 in the ratings that night. I had 1.7 million views. But I gotta tell you this, man. I had about 12 writers. Man. I'll be damned if I'm going to take credit. I had about 12 writers, all right? And I picked out the stuff I wanted to talk about, but damn it, they wrote it. I guess what I'm saying is this. I can be funny, Deon, until you tell me I need to be. Like, I can be funny by accident, but not on purpose.
They don't need to tell you that. They just need to let you be you. Like Snoop Dogg is hilarious with just him being him.
Wow.
Like you give Snoop Dogg a mic, he gone. That's how you are. You think I'm playing. You're the same way.
I'm scared. You scared. Listen, man, I don't like showing my punk side, but that's the punk in me. I'm scared as shit. I ain't gonna lie to you about that. But listen, where these shows gonna be at, man? Where you performing?
So, I have a new tour. It's called My New Normal Tour. The dates are being they already together, or they just organizing the organization and how I'm be traveling around this country and beyond. So they just organizing it so it makes sense where I can go just state to state to state to state. But the dates are already in. You go to DeonCole.com and you'll be able to see all my dates there. And I got a few dates right now. Like I'm on my way to Detroit. I'll be in Gary, Indiana. I got a couple of places that I'm doing right off top, just working out the kinks of the material before I really hit it. And you can go DeonCole.com, or you can see me on my Instagram at Deon Cole there, and I'll have the dates both places.
What's the most fun you've ever had in your career?
Wow, that's a good question right there.
Yeah.
The most fun that I have in my career would be basically coming up with putting out a special.
Okay.
When I put out that special, people look at that as the beginning of the beginning game, but that's the end game. Anytime you do a special, the special is the end of the run of that material. Mm-hmm. So anytime I put a special out, that's the end of that set of jokes that I will never do again unless, somebody requested or something like that. But when I put that special out, that's like the happiest I am right there when I put that special out. I mean, work-wise. Mm-hmm. Other than that, when I'm just chilling, man, on my personal time, I'm just chilling and relaxing and just with family and friends and just cooling out, man. That's a good time.
Concerned at all about the comedic industry, the community, and how folks have sort of tried to muzzle or neuter y'all? Because I'm like, yo, listen, damn it, I got a receipt in hairline. Ain't no hope for me. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can go to hair club for men, but damn it, George Jefferson's calling. Okay, I mean, it's just reality. Okay, I understand it. I accepted the whole bit. I expect somebody to troll me about it. I'm not upset about that. You got people being sensitive to every damn thing. It's pissing me off because I love comedy, and I don't like the fact that folks are getting in y'all way. The one thing I respect, no one can ever accuse a comedian of discriminating. Y'all hit everybody. And so my attitude is, as long as you hitting everybody, what's the problem? What's the problem? Yes. But that's the damn soft-ass world we living in. You concerned about that at all?
I mean, absolutely, man. I heard some comedians say, yeah, if you ain't worried about that, if you're worried about that, that means you're not a good comedian. No, that is very not true. And by the way, what you just said, that's the beginning of your 5 minutes. So write that down.
Damn it.
Here's the other thing, though. Like, so here's the other thing. It's like, you have to take in consideration what people think, because unfortunately, these people are coming to the shows to cancel you. And it's so sad. It's like, why would you go to a dog show and complain that there's no cats? Yeah. Why would you come to air and water show and be like, why y'all can't have this on land? Like, it's like, that's how it feels. And it's like, why would you come mess this up Why would you come to this show and mess it up for everybody in here who can handle this? And just because you can't handle it, then you want to go complain about it. This room ain't for you. Why don't you go leave? I mean, why complain about this? And it's like if you like Snickers, don't write to Kit Kat and tell them, you shouldn't be selling this.
That's right.
Like, just don't eat the Kit Kat. It ain't for you. This world is so huge. You do not need to be in this room with me and 2,000 people having a good time if you can't handle it.
I just think
it baffles me that people still show up to these shows with the mentality that they have.
Yeah, I just think that we got to get to a point, man, in our society where I think it's cathartic and helpful. You got to tell people kiss your ass. I mean, you got to tell them kiss your ass. You really that's what you got to do. I mean, like it's very refreshing. It's what Whitney Houston said, waiting to exhale. It's exhaling. How about that? Okay, I mean, please give me a break. By the way, just a question before I let you get on out of here, man. And I appreciate your time. Your hometown, Chicago. You know, I've been going off about shootings everywhere and all of this other stuff. And I made news the other day. I ain't give a damn. I just said what I felt. It's like, wait a minute. We going to protest when a police officer, by the way, take one of us out unarmed. Ain't no excuse for that. We get all of that. White person shoot us, et cetera, et cetera. But hundreds, if not thousands of us are shooting our own, and we don't say a damn word about it. That's unacceptable to me. And Chicago, throughout the years, your hometown has been one of those cities. I'm wondering what role, if any at all, did that play in you deciding to do Average Joe?
Well, the city, that's a whole nother discussion.
Right,
Chicago and what it's going through and how it is the way it is.
Okay.
Basically, a lot of the gangs in Chicago and abroad, these gangs exist because of love, the lack of love at home.
That's true.
What it is.
That is true.
And so they go over there to get love.
And support.
Absolutely. Another thing I want to discuss is these young men that's out here shooting people and stuff like that, constantly with guns or whatever. A lot of that has to deal with emotions. And I might get in trouble for this, but it could be a discussion or whatever, what I'm going to say. But I feel like a lot of men are raised by their mothers, right? Because their fathers are gone or whatever the story is. The same story that happens a lot of times. But when you're around your mother, and me personally, I was raised with my mother, and I have the traits of my mother. I'm a very emotional guy. Yep. I'm a very emotional guy. Yeah. And I get it from my mom.
We see that in the Old Spice commercials. That's what it does. That's what it does.
But I know how to control my emotions. But there's a lot of men that don't know how to control their emotions because they feel as though they got to be a man because they're a man. But their whole life they've been an emotional kind of guy because of their mothers raising them, and that's all that they see. So they don't know how to control that. So they feel as though that a gun is the easiest way to control that because they can't fight. Ain't nobody fighting no more at all. So therefore, they use this gun as something that ego or I don't know what it is, but I think that they have to control their emotions. And just know that, you taking somebody's life is so easy, it's so whack, it's so terrible to do that. Just if you're having a problem with somebody, just overlook it because whatever you're worried about right now, you ain't gonna be worried about in 4 months from now.
Right.
And that's just how life goes. The problems you had 2-3 months ago, they ain't problems right now. And you have to understand it always works out.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Always works out. But it could work out without a body being gone.
That's it.
My executive producer, Deb, always say that. It always works out, and it does. It always does.
But
you gotta have patience to let it work out.
You got to have the patience, and nobody wants to wait for anything these days. Everybody thinks that today is the end of the world, not recognizing the sun's going to shine tomorrow. You're absolutely right. Man, I'm so proud of you, proud of everything that you're doing. Average Joe streaming now on BET+. You know what? I got a few followers, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put this out, DeonCole.com. I'm going to make sure they know where you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go watch Average Joe. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to do anything that I can to prevent you from forcing me to get on that stage. That's my motivation. I'm
gonna get you up there.
I know you're gonna try, man. I appreciate you, bro, man. No doubt. Always, man. All the best to you, man. We'll see you soon, bro.
Thank you, brother.